As we head deeper into autumn, that slim chance of a late Indian summer, yeah, that's gone now. That's completely gone. And instead, the realities of winter will very soon be knocking on the door. Potential frosts, light frosts, will soon turn into hard frosts and severe freezes. So it's a great time to really start thinking about overwintering, winter protection, winterizing, whatever you choose to call it. I've got a playlist full of plant-specific guides and my top tips for overwintering, and there's other great people on YouTube like Yorkshire Chris who offer a wealth of practical advice, real experiences to help you get your garden plants through winter. But at this time of year, there is one thing that I would recommend, particularly if you're new to growing a lot of these plants, if you grow a lot of plants in pots, or if you grow cannas, gingers, bananas, and other plants you can easily divide in your garden. Whether you've watched my videos, Yorkshire Chris's, Craig down at Grow Paradise, or my videos at Mark's Creative Tiki Garden, which is 10 minutes down the road, one common theme we'll all talk about is how variable plants are when it comes to surviving winter, and how no method for any plant is ever 100% successful. There's always an element of trial and error. So at one end of the scale, you can be very laid back with your approach. Mark's garden is a great example of that. He leaves his bananas, does absolutely nothing to them, and they've come back really well. But when it comes to his cannas, using the same method, some have come back really well and others have completely disappeared. It's the same in any garden, particularly with us exotic gardeners. Nothing is ever 100% successful, but when there's a chance of efficiency, getting a plant through without any kind of effort, it really is tempting to be experimental and see what you can get away with, particularly if you live in a more sheltered area. If you go on Facebook, you'll hear the same story there. Some people have got away growing a plant in the ground without protection for 20 plus years, and it'll be doing fantastically. Others might have lost a plant last winter despite putting some straw in the ground or fleecing it over. It really is one of those situations where every garden's different, every garden soil's different, every winter's different. There really is no right or wrong. At one end of the scale, there's a very easy laid-back garden like Mark's Creative Tiki Garden, where he leaves the bananas in the ground and just lets the winter take its toll and then waits them to come back again in spring, and they've done so well this summer. At the other end of the scale, there's people that literally dig up, wrap, fleece, bring every plant in the house over winter. That can take a lot of effort. The temptation is to try to find your balance on this scale. But when you grow multiples of the same plant, I don't think you have to settle at one end of it or the other, and that's where insurance plans come in. It's not some dodgy pyramid scheme. It really is as simple as a way of protecting some plants, leaving others outside, and maybe finding something out in your garden this winter that gives you more hope for a lower maintenance and easier way of overwintering in the future. So call it whatever you want, insurance plants, backup plants. To me, if you've got multiples of the same plant and there's a chance that it might make it through winter, it can be worth just protecting one or two and maybe leaving the others outside or giving them minimal protection to see if they will survive in your garden. Now, admittedly, every winter's different and nothing is definitely guaranteed, but for an example, my canna Altensteinii, I grew a load from seed and I planted most of the clumps around the garden in 2021, so 2 years ago. Last winter, I actually dug up a couple of the biggest clumps and kept them in the polytunnel. The rest stayed in the ground. And what I found is in spring, yes, the polytunnel ones came through just fine, as you'd expect, but the ones in the ground, albeit a little bit later, they certainly appeared, and they grew really well this summer too. So I found that despite it being a colder winter last year, my canna Altensteinii come back fantastically well. I don't need to bring them into a polytunnel, or it really would take a severe winter to wipe them out. So for me, after last winter, a fly just getting in my eye there, I really am reassured that I can leave these plants in the ground. If I dug all those plants up and brought them into polytunnel, I wouldn't have known that. I saved effort by doing it, and I've now found a low maintenance, more reliable plant for my garden going forwards. And it works the opposite way too. For example, with gingers, Hedchyium, hardy gingers, these are a plant that grow here in the garden, both in the ground and in pots too. When it comes to winter, I put my potted ones into the polytunnel or greenhouse, just about kept frost free. The ones in the ground, I chop them back and I mulch them like you're supposed to do. Now, what I found after last winter is that some of the ones in the ground didn't appear, and the ones that did, they were very, very slow. A combination of being hit hard by the cold winter and then quite a slow cold summer, it really did affect them, and I didn't get any flowers off the ones in the ground at all. The ones that went into the polytunnel, with the extra protection over winter, the head start in spring with the extra heat in there, it really got them growing well, and they flowered amazingly well this summer. So what I found there is, for me, they're a plant in my shady, wet garden. actually prefer going into the polytunnel, and although they can survive outside, for me it's not worth it. And again, if I'd left them all out in the ground, I would potentially have ruled those plants out altogether. If I moved them all into the polytunnel, then really I wouldn't have known, could they actually survive here? Is there an easy way of doing it? So it really is a game of trial and error. But what I'd like to encourage you to do is, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's worth trying a few different things with your plants, especially if you've got multiples of the same plant, or it's a plant like bananas, such as Musa, which you can split up. It's looking a bit tatty by mid-November, but this plant here is Musa Tibet, quite a rare banana plant, which is apparently quite hardy, but it's relatively untested. And as you can see, this plant has actually got two smaller pups. There's the main shooter stem. This is pup one with these leaves here, and there's a further pup just back there as well. So with it coming to this time of year, when I have to start wrapping plants or protecting them, what I'll be doing with this plant here is actually dividing it and taking off probably one of these pups and bringing it into the polytunnel. And that way I know at least one of these plants will survive, but I'll be wrapping the other one, packing it in there. It's a way of testing the plant I'll be leaving outside, but also guaranteeing its survival, not just for my garden here, but also something to propagate and share around next year. Today's video is not a concise how-to video. I'm not saying follow these steps for guaranteed success of your plants over winter. In fact, I'm saying the exact opposite. I'm encouraging you to be a little bit braver, be experimental, and see what you can get away with. Trial and error is only learned from experience. And whenever you talk to an experienced gardener, you'll always find out that they've got their own ways of getting plants through winter. They'll know what they can be efficient with, they'll know what they won't try again, and they'll know the methods that they've found over the years. And you really can only achieve those by experimenting yourself. So yes, I'm not encouraging you to take massively unnecessary risks. If you live in the middle of Scotland where you have really cold, harsh winters, I'm not saying that the two Enseti you've left out as a gamble have got a realistic chance of making it through winter. But as long as you're realistically sensible, if you've got multiple plants of cannas, gingers, or you've got a clump of bananas where you can easily take a pup off, it can be worth trying a different method this year. See what you can get away with doing. Obviously every winter's different, but those lessons are out there for us to learn. And rather than wrapping everything up, bringing everything inside over winter, do you really need to do that? Alternatively, if you've been watching our videos at Mark's Garden, you've been inspired by his lack of effort when it comes to overwintering, that maybe isn't the best idea if you do live somewhere colder. So it really is a case of finding your balance, and the best way of doing that is to try lots of different options. So I hope this video has helped open your eyes. Please leave a comment in the section below. If there's a plant that you've gambled with in the past and you've really found how efficient you can be with your overwintering, you can just leave that plant to it with minimal care. Alternatively, let me know your experiences with leaving certain plants out that haven't done very well, whereas the ones that you did put the effort in have really grown well and absolutely deserved it. But anyway, as always, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you on the next video. See you later.